Welcome back. As you know, I'm Eli, the computer guy. Yeah, that's right. This is the Daily Blob. I guess I'll just finish this video. I guess I'll just do this video and then hopefully I don't have to talk about Trump for a little while. That would be nice. You know what's nice is Trump is dealing with Putin today. Trump is going to kiss Putin's ring today. And you know, the nice part about that is it shouldn't have a damn thing to do with the technology industry. So I don't have to talk about it. Like there's this whole thing, like I was doing all these videos about Israel before. And then people are like, Eli, why are you always talking about Israel? It's like, cause you know, it actually has an outsized influence over the tech industry, right? NVIDIA funding ethnic cleansing. Intel funding genocide. Genocide inside will be Intel's new motto. So I was talking about that for a while. I haven't had to do Israeli videos. I haven't had to do Israeli videos for like a week or two. And not because they've stopped their fucking ethnic cleansing. Not because it hasn't even gotten stupider. You know, they're talking about fucking force migrating Palestinians to like Somaliland. What the fuck is wrong with the Israelis? I swear to God, just as an aside, like with the Israeli, like did they get Hamas to build their water system? I know it's like stereotypical to say like Jewish people are always looking for the lowest bidder. Was Hamas the lowest bidder to build the Israeli water system? Did Hamas literally figure out how to make water pipes that are both lead and imbued with fentanyl? Is that what's going on in Israel right now? Because, like, they are with a fucking straight goddamn face talking about forcibly deporting Palestinians to Somaliland. And I haven't been talking about that because that doesn't have anything to do with tech. It's fucking stupid. You fucking stupid people. But it doesn't have anything to do with tech. So that's a nice part. I haven't had to scream about Israel for a while, right? And that's the nice thing not like with Trump. People are like, why are you screaming about Trump? Because he keeps doing stupid shit to the tech industry. Hopefully, right? You know, he's gonna go and he's gonna have some really nasty coitus with Putin. And the great thing about that is, I mean, he's selling out our country, right? He's selling out the world. He's groveling before a pissant owner of a goddamn gas station with nuclear weapons. But the nice part about that is it doesn't really have a lot to do with the tech industry. Oh, but this does. But this story does. So hopefully I can get to do this story. And then we just move on. Hopefully I won't talk about Trump for a week. We can say hope. Anyways, so the latest thing is, so there's this whole deal with Trump, right? Being in a free country, NVIDIA and AMD have to pay for their freedom. Because that's what freedom is about, right? So, I don't know. He wants NVIDIA and AMD to sell fourth best AI processors to China. And those processors are also going to get tracked, and they might have backdoors. God knows why China would buy this shit. But anyways, apparently they might. But in order to have the ability to sell to China, basically, he needs his bribes. He needs his palms greased for the transaction. So he's demanding a 15% fee of the sales on this AI equipment that was towards China. Which, whatever. Apparently, from the White House, they don't just like this idea for AI. They think it's just a good general idea. Oh yeah, this is a very creative way to pump U.S. corporations for money. So they have freedom, because this is gonna help industrial and economic policy. Anyways, White House says CHIPS deal could perhaps expand to other companies. So, I mean, since NVIDIA and AMD are willing to grease the palms of the mafioso in chief, why wouldn't other corporations also grease his palms. So this is pretty short and sweet, but what else do you have to say? From Reuters, the White House said on Tuesday that perhaps deals could be expanded to other chip companies after NVIDIA and AMD agreed to give the U.S. government 15% of revenue from sales to China of certain advanced chips. Quote, it stands with these two companies. Perhaps it could expand in the future to other companies. I think it's a creative idea and solution. Fuck me, I guess it's creative. It's creative in the way nobody else would think of this horse shit, because it kind of goes against the very fundamentals of how our economy is supposed to operate. So yeah, if you're like, hey, I don't really actually like the United States, ergo I'm going to do non-American ways of trying to do government, I suppose it is creative in that fashion. It would be like if Xi walked into the United States and decided that he was going to put out a whole bunch of executive orders. I bet a lot of people would say Xi would be very creative with his executive orders, because they wouldn't be like anything we would ever think an American president would actually do, because it fundamentally goes against the way America does things. But anyways, yes, so it's a creative idea and solution. Here's the thing that I find interesting about this. What solution is this? So you're going to force NVIDIA to sell GIMP. So apparently, he's talking about selling degraded, essentially H100 GPUs to China. And these H20 GPUs that are fourth best AI, on top of the tracking mechanisms that apparently the US government is installing on this crap. To sell, right, this subpar garbage, right, he then wants a 15% cut. What does this solve? I mean, if you're trying to destroy America, right? If Marxist Trump, I just did a video, talked about this. If Marxist MAGA is hell-bent on destroying America, then I suppose this is a very creative solution to destroying America. But otherwise, I don't understand where we're going with this. So our champions, right? The few industrial champions we don't have a lot anymore. We don't have a lot in this country, right? But NVIDIA is one of our industrial champions. So the industrial champion we have, we're going to put a massive amount of restrictions on them, and we're going to demand a 15% cut of their sales. What does that solve? Anyways, this quote comes from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt during a recent press briefing. So yeah, we may see the Trump administration becoming ever more involved in our capitalist system. I talked about this in the previous video. This is the Communist Manifesto. If you have not read the Communist Manifesto, I would highly recommend that you do, because you will find in the Communist Manifesto that it really does sound very right-wing Christian. If you think rural, right-wing Christian, Communist Manifesto might be your book of choice. Anyways, it talks about the inherent value of the sexes. Talks about that there. It talks about the consolidation of political power in the cities versus the rural areas. It talks about that kind of stuff. I wonder how Marx would feel about the trans folks. Or think about that. People are always like, oh, these Marxist trans. I don't actually think Marx would be for the trans. Like, if you actually read Marx, I don't think he'd be for the trans movement. I'm just putting that out there. But anyways, it's really weird how the MAGA Marxists are out there trying to push for the government to essentially like soft nationalize our industries, right? They want to take an equity chunk out of Intel. They're taking these cuts out of AMD and NVIDIA, and they want to push this even further. So yeah, that is the world that we are currently in. Yep. So anyways, fingers crossed. When Trump meets with Putin today, everything goes to hell, And so the news cycle for at least the next week or two will all be about Trump and Russia. Because hopefully, if it's all about Trump and Russia, then I can not talk about Israel and I can not talk about Trump for at least a week or two, because it won't have a goddamn thing to do with the tech industry. Sadly, this stuff does. So anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about the Trump administration thinking it's creative, a creative idea and solution to add to the companies that are essentially getting these export tariffs? Which, why are we, it's always funny. It's like, there's so many, he is single-handedly enforcing so many taxes on the American people. And yet there's like this weird argument that somehow, oh, it's not our taxes, right? So we don't pay. So when there's inbound tariffs. So when there's inbound tariffs, we're told that they pay. China pays the tariffs. Again, that's not how tariffs work. But if you take that on face value, then if you're tariffing shit on the way out, then we pay the tariff. No, they're paying the tariffs. So whether it comes in or it goes out, somehow they think China's paying the tariffs. Do they understand how any of this works? Do you understand how this works? Oh. Anyways, what do you think about all this? What do you think about this crap show? Put your thoughts down below. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down. Say I'm amazing. Say I'm a moron. Call me a Marxist. Call me a Marxist. Oh, golly. Trump is so fucking Marxist. I fear the day. I fear the day when one of these MAGA like pundits, like one of these MAGA YouTubers, like sits down and like reads the Communist Manifesto and then goes, "Oh my God, this is Trump." We have become the thing that we abhor. Yes. Trans people are Marxist. Nationalizing the valuable sectors of the American country. I mean, that's as capitalist as you can possibly get, right? Whatever. See y'all later.